Have you ever wondered why some men walk into a room and instantly command the space, without even saying a word, while others talk, try, push, and nothing happens? Here's the hard truth. Real attraction has nothing to do with smooth lines, muscles, or money. It's born in the unseen, and women feel it. In this video, you'll discover 8 hidden signs, grounded in psychology and shaped by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, that clearly reveal whether you have that magnetic effect on women. And more importantly, how to become that rare kind of man, the one women notice, respect, and desire, even if they can't explain why. Some of these signs are so subtle, you might be experiencing them right now and not even realize it. Let's start with the first one, and it lives in the eyes. 1. She holds eye contact longer than usual. Most men don't notice, but a woman's eyes can say more than 1,000 words. When she holds your gaze for a little too long, it's not a slip, it's a silent reading. It's like she's trying to figure out who you really are behind that calm, masculine presence. A man with true self-confidence doesn't look away in a rush. He holds her gaze steadily, without tension, like someone in control of his own energy. This kind of prolonged eye contact usually means she's, consciously or not, trying to access your personal value. She's testing to see if you crumble under pressure or stand grounded with inner security. A man who constantly looks away communicates uncertainty, not charm. But the one who meets her gaze calmly, with intentionality, radiates mystery. A mystery that both invites and challenges. And we're not talking about staring in that intense, interrogation-style way. That just makes things awkward. It's about holding the gaze just long enough, naturally. The key: be comfortable with yourself. Practice this daily. Look people in the eye, the cashier, the Uber driver, anyone. Over time, a quiet charisma becomes part of your essence. This is where assertive communication truly begins, even before words. The eyes transmit presence, desire, power, but also respect. A man who masters his gaze, masters his posture. And that quiet posture of power, mixed with a composed silence, stirs something in women that no pickup line ever could. When she can't stop looking at you, it's because something in you is vibrating differently. It could be your emotional control, your balanced masculine energy, or simply the peace that comes from emotional maturity. But, is eye contact alone enough to say it all? Or are there deeper signals most men completely miss? 2. She tries to impress you in small, subtle ways. It's funny how most men are so focused on showing their value that they miss when they're the ones being watched. When a woman starts fixing her hair, laughing a little louder near you, or mentioning she's been reading something deep, it's because she wants you to notice her. That's a direct reflection of your confidence frequency. You've become magnetic. She feels it and responds to it. She might change her tone of voice, choose different words, or even bring up a topic she knows you're into. It's subtle, but intentional. When a man lives and speaks with authenticity, women naturally want to tune into that frequency. It's not manipulation, it's biology, psychology, and a little poetry too. This is the silent dance of attraction playing out in real time. The key here is to notice without reacting too quickly. A man with psychological resilience doesn't jump at every signal. He observes, confirms, and keeps his pace. A great way to build this is by practicing active listening. Yes, actually listening, not just to her words, but how she says them and what's underneath. A man with natural leadership knows that perception is a tool of influence. When she's trying to impress you, most guys go overboard trying to reciprocate. That's a mistake. A man with inner security holds steady ground, responds calmly, sometimes with a warm smile, sometimes with a light, unexpected compliment. That's not coldness, that's emotional mastery. And in today's world, it's rare, which makes it deeply attractive. The little ways she tries to impress you reveal more than you think. They show that something about you is disrupting her inner world. But if she's trying to catch your eye, is she also subtly making space to stay close, even when there's no real reason to? 3. You take care of your body without bragging about it. There's nothing more striking than a man who takes care of his body with quiet discipline. Masculine presence doesn't need to shout. It settles into the room naturally when a man stands with balance, posture, and focused energy. It's not about having a perfect physique. It's about having a cared-for body, waking up early, training, eating with intention, and not needing to post it online. The impact goes way beyond physical looks. A man who respects his body signals, without saying a word, that he holds personal value. He's willing to invest in his physical temple, not out of vanity, but self-respect. That speaks volumes of self-confidence, emotional control, and emotional maturity. He doesn't seek attention, he becomes worthy of it. And that's the real symbol of desire for most women. Need an example? Waking up at 6 a.m. to run while the world sleeps. Turning down that third beer because you know it'll slow you down. Choosing food with a purpose. Reading the labels. Hitting the gym even when you're not in the mood. That's natural leadership directed inward. And when this becomes your standard, your body changes. And so does the way others look at you. The most fascinating part? This type of man doesn't even mention that he works out. He doesn't post. Doesn't compare. Doesn't fish for compliments. His silence becomes the signature of a quiet charisma. And when a woman senses that, she intuitively feels this is a man with posture. Someone who leads not just his body, but his impulses. That creates a magnetic pull no dating coach can teach. But let's be honest, the body alone won't hold attention for long. There's something deeper that keeps attraction alive. Something she feels, even when you're no longer in the room. 4. She looks for your approval before making a move. When a woman starts choosing her words more carefully or hesitating before making a decision around you, something powerful is happening. She recognizes your natural leadership. That doesn't mean she's being submissive. It means your opinion carries weight. This kind of quiet influence only shows up when a man radiates stable, grounded masculine energy. She might ask if you like a certain outfit, if a restaurant sounds good to you, or if a plan feels right. These are small gestures, but they reveal you're emotionally significant to her. A man who commands respect through authenticity doesn't need to demand anything. Women naturally align. This is the result of assertive communication combined with deep personal presence. Now here's the catch. This only happens authentically when the man actually lives by his own values. A man who's inconsistent loses magnetism fast. But the one who acts with emotional discipline, speaks when needed, listens attentively, and positions himself without arrogance becomes a mirror. And women, when they admire a man, start to calibrate themselves to that mirror. Want to build this kind of presence? Start with small decisions. Take the lead when choosing where to go or what to do. Be direct, but never harsh. Say things like, "Let's go here, it's calmer," or "This route's better, it's safer." That reinforces your posture of power, and your inner security becomes a compass for those around you, including her. When she starts seeking your input before acting, it's not just courtesy. It means something in you inspires trust, structure, direction. But attraction's ultimate test goes far beyond social behavior. It's when her body starts reacting in ways her mind can't control. 5. You know when to walk away. There's something deeply powerful about a man who doesn't force things when there's no mutual energy. When he senses the vibe is off, that the rhythm is broken, he simply withdraws. No drama, no explanation, no resentment. That kind of move reveals not just self-confidence, but true psychological resilience. He doesn't need to prove he's wanted, he already knows his worth. This kind of attitude often confuses people. Most are used to men who chase, who crave validation, who beg for attention. But a man with inner security doesn't play those games. He can feel when a space doesn't honor his frequency, and he steps back with elegance. That's what real power looks like, calm, silent, and deeply effective. Here's a real-life example. When the conversation becomes one-sided, or he feels he's being constantly tested, he slows down. If she takes too long to reply, he doesn't complain. If the date is canceled, he doesn't insist. He pulls back, resets his energy, and returns to center. That ability to protect his emotional space reveals emotional control and mature masculinity. And that's exactly when the tables turn. Because his quiet departure, made with grace, not bitterness, triggers a sense of loss on the other side. And what's rare becomes valuable. The man who knows when to leave, who doesn't explain himself, leaves a powerful imprint. He becomes unforgettable. That's silent charisma in its purest form. But the same man who knows how to leave also knows how to reappear, evolved. And when he comes back, he's stronger, sharper, more focused. And that alone, it can leave a woman speechless. But does his presence also shift the energy the moment he enters a room? 6. She adjusts her body language when you enter the room. Most people don't notice it, but the body speaks before the mouth does. When a man with masculine presence walks into a room, something shifts, and some women, almost unconsciously, sit up straighter, touch their hair, or square their shoulders. It's biological. It's instinctual. Her body responds to an invisible field, one that recognizes this man's grounded, vibrant energy. It's not about being conventionally handsome or wearing expensive clothes. It's about pure masculine energy, centered, contained, alive. This kind of man walks in with his chest open, head upright, steady steps, and says everything without speaking. He radiates confidence but doesn't need to push. He's not looking around for eyes. He already knows they'll find him. This reaction happens because women, even subconsciously, sense when a man holds real value. It's the vibration of someone with natural leadership, someone who knows his boundaries and his strength. That's why you'll often see subtle shifts, a change in her posture, a sudden burst of laughter, or her voice getting louder, just to be noticed. It's a magnetic field you didn't announce, but activated. Want an example? You walk into a room, and, without saying a word, the energy changes. People reposition, laughter rises, someone crosses her legs or straightens her clothes. It's not random, and you don't need to react. A man with emotional control just observes, absorbs, and stays anchored. That's the frequency of confidence, remember? These kinds of reactions, though subtle, reveal far more than words ever could. But here's what's even more powerful: when your presence holds steady over time. Because making an impact by showing up is one thing. Holding attention with silence, that's something very few can do. 7. You listen more than you speak. In a world that never stops talking, a man who listens feels like a lighthouse in a storm. When he lets her speak without interrupting, without correcting, without needing to show off what he knows, he communicates emotional control in a way words never could. His silence isn't empty, it's intentional. And that silence transmits inner security, not passivity. Most anxious men try to fill the silence with explanations, flattery, or stories about themselves. But the emotionally mature man knows presence isn't measured in volume, it's measured in attention. He listens with his body, with his eyes, with a calm and clear mind. That creates a space where a woman feels heard, seen, understood. And yes, that's deeply attractive. Here's how that plays out. During a date, she's venting about work stress. Instead of offering quick advice, he holds eye contact, nods, maybe asks a thoughtful question. He's simply there. And that presence speaks louder than any pickup line ever could. This is the art of assertive communication, when it's driven by calm, not ego. This kind of deep listening builds a powerful emotional field. It tells her she's not being analyzed, she's being received. It's the kind of experience that makes a woman want to open up more. And the man who listens with full presence becomes rare. He carries the silent charisma that doesn't need validation. It's quiet, but it leaves a lasting echo. And here's the wild part: the more he listens, the more she feels safe to reveal herself. And when that emotional connection deepens, it creates a bond far beyond physical attraction. But what happens when that bond grows so strong? She starts to see him as the only one in the room. 8. You set boundaries without making a scene. There's an invisible line that separates men who just try to please from men who truly attract. It's the ability to set boundaries, calmly, and without needing to explain. A man who can say no without raising his voice, without guilt, without long justifications, is a man with real self-confidence. He's not willing to sacrifice his principles just to keep someone around, and that, paradoxically, makes him even more magnetic. Women pick up on this fast. They feel when a man has personal value, because he doesn't flinch when it's time to stand his ground. He can be kind, respectful, thoughtful, but never overly permissive. He knows that giving too much too soon drains his energy. Protecting that energy is not selfish, it's emotional maturity. That balance radiates inner security and authentic masculine presence. Want a real-life example? She makes a passive-aggressive comment or crosses a line in a conversation. He doesn't snap, but he doesn't let it slide either. He looks her in the eye and says, "I don't like that kind of tone. Let's keep it respectful." Simple. Calm. No performance. That's assertive communication in action. powered by emotional discipline and personal authority. Most men fear losing a woman's interest by setting boundaries. But the high-value man knows, if setting a boundary pushes her away, then the connection was already shallow. He would rather keep his integrity than bend for approval. That makes him more trusted, more admired, and yes, more desired. A woman might be attracted to a man's body, but she'll feel safe with a man who stands firm. Here's the truth. Healthy boundaries don't push real women away, they pull them in. Because boundaries create structure, and structure breeds respect. The real question is, are most men ready to lead with that structure? Or are they still chasing validation, when everything they need already lives within? So now the question isn't whether women find you attractive. It's this: are you ready to maintain that level of value every single day? Because being noticed once is easy. The real challenge? Being remembered for your posture, your peace, your steady presence. Which of these signs did you recognize in yourself? And which one do you feel you need to build more intentionally? Drop it in the comments below. I choose to be a man of value. Let the world know that you're not chasing, you're leading. If this video gave you something to think about, hit the like button. Share it with a brother who needs this. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. Because masculine growth begins in silence, but transforms everything around you.